Hello everyone, welcome to another IT Career Talk with Professionals, and today we have a data scientist. So our speaker or our guest for today is Redeña. Miss Dana, can you say hi to our audience?
Hi everyone, happy to be here, Rafi.
Thank you also. No? So Miss Dana, what is a data scientist? You know, hot position to I would say at the moment.
Yeah, what is a data scientist? So I think data science is a new role, merging different disciplines. So I guess what makes a data scientist is a merging of programming or engineering, analytics or statistics or math parts, and then the business knowledge that you have. Um, there could be many subsets for the field, for the data science itself. But to be a data scientist, you must be able to know the three major skill sets of this field.
And what are those three majors? Is it the one you just mentioned? Engineering,
Yeah,
business, and math or statistics? No.
yeah, yes.
What are the hard skills or parang basically technologies or maybe ano yung parang kung magre-resume writing ka, in other words,
Mhm.
ano yung isusulat mo para
Mhm.
makuha ka or ma-hired ka as a data scientist? Ano yung skills na dapat i-highlight mo?
Yeah. Well, so hard skills is computer programming, I would say. It doesn't mean na sobrang deep ng programming skills mo. I think just choose a weapon of choice, usually Python or R. For me, it's Python. And then another kaakibat dun is SQL, since you'll be dealing with a lot of data, which lives on the database. So you'll have to know the language of databases, which is SQL. From there, parang I would say yun na yung parang enough na programming skills that you need. And then in terms of the math sides naman or analytics, it's really, I guess, the curiosity in knowing the data points that the business needs, tapos being able to dive deep on that, ask questions, and then yung, I would say, yung graph part, so data visualization naman. So you make graphs from the data para lang, kasi hindi lang yung data for you, it's also for the company and the people that you work with. So kailangan nilang maintindihan. So it's being able to translate the data or the numbers to visualization. And then that for the business knowledge naman, I think it's something that it will come with experience, kasi you only know so much out of college. So as you go deep into the field, for me, it's e-commerce. You really know more about it, and that you'll be able to know the different drivers of the business. So ano ba yung click rate, ano ba yung page view traffic, so stuff like that.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And itong mga hard skills na minention mo, these hard skills, do you need industry certification for this, for hiring, or how do you show it? Diba, susulat mo lang ba? May training ka bang dapat attendan and ma-complete, or how do you get these skills so that you can be hired?
Yeah, I guess for data science, merong mga certification naman. Ang medyo napansin ko lang is very strict siya to the cloud platform. So, kunwari may machine learning certification for AWS, meron for Google Cloud, and meron din ata for Azure, Microsoft. So, I guess out of the box, like out of college, medyo hindi mo pa rin alam naman kung ano yung cloud na choice mo.
Exactly.
And mahirap din mas stuck sa isang cloud platform. But it would help, the certification, pero out of college, I would say na it's the experience that you put in your resume that will really matter or would stand out. Kasi it would show na you're able to take on certain studies or projects, tapos na-curious ka sa data na yon, na-curious ka, may tanong ka, tapos i-dive deep mo, tapos papakita mo kung ano nangyayari, and then eventually, yung ibang projects, pwede rin merong solution na kaakibat, like models yung tinatawag na. So,
Right. And you mentioned a little bit of this na to about college or out of college, no? Ano bang mga courses ang dapat siguro i-explore pag gusto mong data scientist yung magiging field mo?
Okay, so for data science, since medyo malaking field siya, maraming skill set, so maraming entrance, maraming doorways for it. So marami akong kilala, like people that I look up to. So si Dr. Reina Reyes, Dr. Erica Legara. So ano sila, physics yung background nila coming to data science. And there is me and others na computer science naman yung degree ko. So more on IT, engineering talaga, coding yung tinuturo sa amin. And then I also know analysts in my field naman na business naman yung pinasukan nila kasi yun yung isa sa 3 pillars. So business na tuto sila ng stat and math and then eventually programming. So, yeah, ganun siya.
So, speaking about you, nandito na tayo sa you, no? Can you tell us your journey? Like, how did you decide or maybe at what point even did you decide na magiging data scientist ka na? Was this something like high school pa lang, I wanna be a data scientist, kaya pipili ako ng computer science? Or ano yung, if you can recall now, how did that happen?
Okay. So, for context, like 3 years pa lang ako sa job. So, medyo konti pa lang yung journey. So, let's start. So, from high school, yung mom ko kasi is a computer programmer din. So, early on na-expose na ako sa PC. So, may PC kami sa bahay. Tapos, I guess yung corner is yung accidental programming with Friendster pa nun. Dine-design ko yung sarili kong profile page, so front-end stuff. Tapos, doon ko na isipan na, baka pwede to sa akin kasi masayang gawin. So, nung high school, may computer class kami, robotics, and then may ICT. Tapos, doon ko na laman talaga na this is it. Ipupursue ko na to kasi na-enjoy ko naman siya.
Okay.
Yeah, tapos noong college, so computer science na nga, thankfully nakapasok ako. Tapos, so 4 years, medyo roller coaster yung 4 years na yun kasi syempre computer science, di mo alam kung saan ka pupunta. Like, even the computer science is maraming fields, maraming pathways. So, what I know is that I really like front-end, tapos design. So, dun muna ako nag-focus. So, front-end, design, ganyan. And I liked it naman. Pero nung nagpili na kami ng thesis, nagustuhan ko yung AI ko kasi na class. So, para siya tuturo sa inyo. Noong 3rd year, tuturo sa inyo different classes. So, may security, kailangan mong kunin, tapos merong web, meron din AI. Tapos nagustuhan ko yung class na yun talaga. Tapos okay din yung prof na nagtuturo. So talagang aligned. So nung thesis na, yun na yung pinili kong laboratory namin for thesis. So AI. And then, nung out of college, so graduation, may offers naman. Ang tinatry ko talaga applyan is for data science talaga or something na AI engineering.
Right.
Kaso medyo nahirapan ako kumuha ng certain role for it kasi usually merong experience na kailangan for data science. Mahirap ng out of job. I don't know if the market changed right now kasi nga mas open na yung mga tao with the field. Pero no, nag-a-apply ako, medyo may kailangan silang experience number of experience ng years.
Right.
So,
So, walang parang ano doon at the time, or I don't know if meron, data science, fresh grad. Parang walang ganun. Parang lahat. Or parang baka merong data science, fresh grad, but must be 3 years experience. Parang ganun ba?
parang ganon. Tapos, I didn't feel confident din na mag-apply. Parang merong mga data analysts like yung Uber. Kaso pa-exit na yung Uber dito. So parang, okay, sige, pag-isipan natin. So what I know back then is I really like working for a startup. So naghanap ako ng startup na gusto ko. And then thankfully, I got the job from BeautyMnl, which is my job right now. So it's a startup and then full stack.
Sorry, can I ask why did parang how or why did you have that notion na parang I really want to work in a startup? Parang you know, when did that start parang as well?
Yeah. Okay. So maybe it started not sure, but my mom worked for a corporate company na multinational and then for years din. So decades din siya doon. And I guess I didn't want that life. Parang kasi umabot din siya sa point na hindi na rin niya sure yung iti-take niya after years in that company. Medyo nag-stagnant na yung growth. So for me, yun yung appeal ng startup. And nung batch namin, marami ding startup na nagtutok sa college. So yun. Tapos nag-intern ako to a startup na unfortunately wala na. So fintech yun. And then nag-thesis ako, they went down. So sabi ko, dapat yung startup na pupuntahan ko is mas may conviction ako to their growth. Hindi pwedeng sobrang blind naman. So I guess BeautyMnl is a perfect fit for it. So no, in-offeran ako, pero full stack developer kasi yun. And then when I talked to them, at that time, parang di rin ako sure. Like, gusto ko data science, pero yun nga, medyo may imposter syndrome na kaya ko ba to. So, what I did is, I accepted the job na lang with full stack developer. So, I've been a developer ng web. So, lahat, back end, front end, for a year. And then, since nga, merong data science department yung company namin, na one-person job pa lang, si Reyna, Dr. Reyna Reyes yun. So, nung nag-open nung position, I applied. Kahit na hindi rin ako sure. Pero kasi si Dr. Reyna Reyes, so parang, let's go. And then, I got it. So, yun na yung parang start no, talagang role for it. But the skills, I guess maraming stepping stones to it. So, I learned design, I learned community work sa college, I learned programming, of course. And then, eventually, magko-collide yun to the data science field kasi marami nga siyang kailangan skill set. So, you need to talk to people, you need to be able to program, etc.
Right. Balik tayo sa question on companies having a data scientist, no? Parang in terms of when does a company you would say need a data scientist? Parang is it just for big companies? Is it for medium-sized companies? Is it pwede na ba ang small companies? Parang ano yung problem set na parang kailangan ma-solve ng isang data scientist for a company?
Right. Okay. When does the company need a data scientist? I would say if my available data na, yun yung parang siguro tip ko for people working for a data scientist job. Kasi maraming nagsusulputan ngayon na parang hiring for data scientists. I guess the number one question that you would ask yourself is there data in this company? Are there steps that they are taking to store the data into their database? Kasi parang hindi naman yung problem nung early on since the company didn't see much value in the team kasi kalat-kalat yung data talaga. Like, meron kami mga, syempre may transactions from e-commerce
Right.
and then, pero like, that's it. Medyo kalat pa. So, and then merong nag-spearhead ng mga konting analysis like saan ba nagkukulang yung business, saan yung parang yung data scientist is more on a lens na holistic na what you can see in the overall kapag in-aggregate mo yung data and then nag-deep dive ka, ano nangyayari, saan yung kulang, anong pwedeng para siyang sin science. So, meron kang hypothesis, tas ano yung pinaka-viable path or strategy to solving that problem. So, ganun siya. Parang the data is really important na nandun. So, yun yung, since konti pa lang yung data science sa amin, early on, we really took the time to gather, ayusin yung data namin to a data warehouse.
I want to ask lang, yung data scientist, is it more towards individual contributor or is it like you really need to work with teams?
Good question. Well, yeah. Okay. So, I think being able to work with a team is really important. Kasi parang insights is not only for you, being able to see the impact of your study or yung pinaghirapan mong project, kailangan mo talaga makascade to the decision makers. That would mean cascading it to marketing, cascading it to the supply chain, minsan nga to our CEOs talaga. So, you need to be able to work with the team then kasi there are certain biases of the human mind, like confirmation bias. So that's when kapag may naiisip ka na thing or thought, sa tingin mo tama na yun, tapos hinahanap mo siya sa data, tapos usually makikita mo siya. But when you work with a team, mas marami kayong heads thinking, tapos nagka-cancel out yung biases nyo and mas magiging rational yung solution nyo in the end. So, really need to work with the team. But I do enjoy my introvert lifestyle na minsan merong 2 or 3 days a week na ako lang yung, nandun ka lang sa desk mo, nagdidig ka lang sa data talaga kahit wala kang kausapin. And then eventually though, you need to be able to cascade it to the team or to the company talaga.
So, given that remote working now, no, at least most, and I'm not sure if remote working kayo, my assumption is remote working kayo. Remote working ba kayo?
Yes, remote working since March 2020.
So how do you feel about remote working? Is this like the ideal setup for a data scientist, or you still think na, or do you think na eventually mas maganda ang office setup for a data scientist?
There are pros and cons sa both. I mean, mahirap din kasi yung piliin yung remote working in a pandemic background. So, hindi ko pa na-experience yung remote working without the pandemic, like, sure, out of your own volition. But, merong perks, like, yung remote working, medyo, naka-adjust naman kami, and then, naka-adapt din kami to ways kung paano mag-collaborate. So, merong mga boards to collaborate, Zoom meetings, ganyan. But I would say I do miss yung setup na face-to-face kasi mas fluid yung interaction. Minsan kasi pag Zoom parang mahirap mag-step in, tapos mahirap yung non-verbal talaga yung nawawala. And then, although in this remote life, I guess I would say na commuting time has been put back into my life right now. So malaking help siya, and so just I I just diverted it to learning new things yung commute time na nakuha ko. But it wasn't easy at first kasi parang yung boundaries na blur. So, alin yung work, alin yung buhay mo talaga. So,
Right.
minsan mag-work ka na parang, pwedeng wag ko muna gawin kasi mamaya, meron pa naman akong like 12 hours in the day. So, procrastinate ka ganyan, hindi ka maisip. So, talaga, kailangan talaga na routines. So, what I did is meron na akong space for it kasi dati talagang bed. So, maliit lang yung apartment namin. So, kailangan talagang mahirap magkaroon ng office space. So, pero pinilit na magkaroon ng office space kasi dati bed lang ako nag-work and mahirap talaga na doon ka natutulog, doon ka magtrabaho. Mahirap siyang tanggalin sa isip. Yun.
That's true. Given yung unique background mo na dati kang or still, I don't know if still, no, full stack developer, pinapa-code ka pa rin ba minsan? Given na yun na, hey, baka pwede ka mag-code din ano, no? Or parang naka-fully transition ka na to data scientist, or even like, you know, dapat bang i-consider yun na parang dual hat?
Nung binibuild yung data team namin, which is just last year or last year, maraming dual hat talaga kasi parang okay, pwede na kayo mag-analysis pero asan yung data. So yun din yung naging job ko, which is putting on the events para mag-send ng data to our data warehouse. Tapos, I guess I would say until last year, I'm still coding from time to time kapag medyo rush work, tapos need na person to code the trackers or code something that I can do. Parang they would ask our help, and then we would help naman. But this year naman, I guess since we know more what the data team in our company really stands for, so mas clear na yung definitions na work plan namin. So ngayon, hindi na kami nagko-code. So yung code namin is SQL na and Python na analysis. Pero hindi na kami nag-code sa mismong website. Yung talagang web development.
Right. I only have a couple more questions left, no? So I wanted to ask lang din, what's your current passion? You know, is it or what's your next step in this case, no? Is it like being I'm not familiar kasi, like, is there like a senior data scientist? Is there like what's the progression for a data scientist? And also, aside from being career passion, do you also have any other passions helps you balance your life?
Yeah, okay. So, passion. I guess biggest passion is really learning a lot. Like, what I love in the field of data science is there's always stuff to learn. The field is progressing so fast. Like, every conference, ito naman yung bagong iisipin, like new frontiers in AI and machine learning. And maraming tools talaga na kailangan aralin. And I enjoy that. Yeah, right now I take classes on statistics na medyo grad level studies. And then, hindi siya masters talaga. Para there is this program called Tokyo Data Science. Online siya na binild ng prof in Tokyo University to help students na wala pang resources to take master's degree ngayon, pero pwede nang mag-start ng master's degree level learning. So yun, I'm taking that, and then kaakibat nun is yung math ng machine learning algorithms. Medyo masakit sa ulo, pero kaya naman. And then, from learning, parang outside of that is that I also try to help the communities for tech. So I am part of the Women Who Code Manila. So what it does. So Women Phone, we are open to actually all genders naman, just specifically to the women's needs. So, kasi kailangan ng visibility and empowerment to the women tech community here and around the world really. So, para siyang community ng people who really support each other. Tapos, nag-study group, ganyan. Tapos, I think, from helping that community, it really fuels your learning pa more. Kasi parang, ba't ka ba nag-learn? Is it really just for your job? I mean, it pays the bills, pero parang it's a higher purpose for me. And then, another community na kaka-start lang actually last week is Ondena AI. Tapos
Is that Philippine-based?
It is a global community. Tapos meron na silang Philippine chapter here in the Philippines just last week. So what Ondena does is it tries to democratize data and the tools and the machine learning models for social good. So, kuwari, our government or
open data?
Open data, transparency, and then a non-profit na wala namang capability or resources na magkaroon ng sarili nilang AI team. We will step in for them. We will vouch for what they need and then eventually build parang sprints to be able to deploy a solution for them. So, yun yung Ondena. So, exciting. Outside from geeky stuff, I guess, is plants. So, right now, I just stand on it. Kung may mga green dyan sa blurry background yung plants yan.
Dito, just a, I guess, funny question for our audience and for myself lang. Since nasa field ko nga ng AI, anything, we have machine learning, reinforced learning, artificial learning. May area ka ba dito na parang fino-focus on?
Fino-focus on? Right now is machine learning na interpretable. So, back to basics for our job kasi kailangan interpretable. Meron ng frontiers for interpretability sa deep learning algorithms pero hindi pa siya sapat. So, back to basics talaga. So, parang clustering, ganyan, regression. Yun yung focus sa work. But in terms of learning, I'm trying to learn more about neural networks. So, interested ako is recurrent neural network. So, para siyang NLP. Sorry, daming jargon. Para siyang NLP, but for sequential data. Hindi siya words lang. So, kunwari, cornerstone siya for recommender algorithm. So, kasi ang recommendations, di ba? Pasok yung user sa site, tapos click siya dito, add to cart dito, tapos check out. Tapos yung events na yun is a sequential. Tapos, ipapasok mo siya sa recurrent neural net, tapos lalabas na kung ano yung likely next purchase niya. So, yun yung underlying network doon. Tapos, ginagamit din siya for predicting kung kailan na hindi mag-event yung tao. So, kunwari, sobrang engaged nung user, dami niyang sequential events, tapos eventually, sa stop or parang padalang ng padalang. So, eventually, mapipredict mo kung ano yung likelihood na magdadalang na siya enough to mawawala na siya sa site nyo or mawawala na siya sa sa usage. Yeah.
And again, ito na yung funny question. So, do you think AI will take over the world?
Like Skynet?
Well, depends on how you interpret that, no? Pwede Skynet level or depends on how you interpret that.
I think for AI, it really has a lot of potential. I think yung vision ngayon for AI is that para siyang magiging computer science. So, para na lang siyang dati, di ba, para bagong-bago pa yung website. Bagong-bago pa, like, website, ganyan. Konti lang yung nagde-dev na website, ganyan. I think in the future, it will take over in a way na magiging part na siya ng standard curriculum for computer science or even for other science researches like physics, yung talagang talagang may data na fields like bioinformatics, statistics, nandun na talaga siya, kasama na siya. Yun yung magiging takeover niya. In terms of like consciousness, will we ever get there? I mean, my thoughts on it, I guess, it's hard to say, pero parang ang trajectory is we will eventually get there. So, kung curious kayo, merong deep learning na GPT-3. So, nag-feed lang sila sa model na data from the internet and it tried to learn as much as it can. Tapos, nag-start siya sa GPT-2. So, medyo medium, malaking data na, pero not as big as GPT-3. Tapos, na-surprise sila is that parang hindi nagsa-slow down yung curve ng performance. So, parang, where would this take us? Sa GPT-3, as in, patalino lang siya patalino. So, will that end up in singularity or consciousness? We don't know. But I hope that AI would really transform lives for the better. So, I think marami tayo narinig na misusage, which is nangyari din naman nung wave ng internet, nangyari din naman nung wave nung ngayon meron din tayo blockchain, di ba? So, meron talagang siguro misusage ng tools, pero if nasa field ka, I think meron ka rin responsibility to drive it for the better. So, using it to help communities talaga, using it to improve the lives of people is the goal naman. Kung sana na people who have this enough learnings in AI.
Right. And guys, don't worry if hindi nyo masyado na-gets yung mga jargon na sinabi namin. As much as possible, try ko ilalagay sa description sa baba. And pati yung mga minention na links, no? Ilalagay ko yun sa baba para you can follow.
Yeah.
So
show notes.
Oh, show notes. Yes. Now, siguro my last question dito is in terms of, your advice as yourself or as, like you said, a volunteer in Women in Tech and yung bagong AI community.
For good. Yeah.
AI for good. No? So, anong advice mo sa ating viewers?
Advice to our viewers, the field of data science can be intimidating kasi nga sabi ko ang daming as the field progresses at ang dami talagang skill sets going into it, and then parang kapag nakapasok ka na dun sa community, medyo may tension na parang totoo ba tong ginagawa ko, tama ba to, may imposter syndrome talaga na moment. But then, I would advise them to just keep learning. There's so many resources, and then, kung nahirapan kayo kumuha ng resources, reach out to communities kasi meron mga mentors that are willing to help you forward in your journey. And then, hindi lang naman, like, kahit ako, ang dami ko pa rin gustong matutunan, ang dami ko pa rin inaaral, and then marami ka talagang aaralin pa, and then yung drive na yun sana hindi mawala sa'yo kasi exciting yung field na to, maraming pwedeng pagbabagong mangyari through it.
And thank you for that, no? I want to clarify one thing lang, no? If you have some words, like for example, pag sinabi ba nila, ay, hindi ako mahilig sa math, pwede pa rin sila maging data scientist.
Paanong hilig sa math?
Siguro, sabihin natin, nung high school ako, parang hindi ako magaling sa trigonometry and algebra. Okay lang ba yun na mag-pursue ako ng data scientist?
Malaki naman yung field, so ikaw mamimili kung gaano ka-deep yung gusto mong understanding sa pag-wield ng weapon of math. Your skill set, I would say na eventually, kapag gusto mo talaga yung field, matutunan mo siya mahalin. I think yung magaling naman is, so meron kang baseline siguro na talent or privilege. Tapos kapag nag-try ka lang na nag-try, mag-build up naman yung interest mo for it at yung capabilities mo eventually. Hindi man ganun kabilis sa learning curve ng iba, pero it will get there with enough resources and talagang hard work. Kasi I think nung college din, may times na girapan ko rin yung math na projects, na courses ko. So parang di ata ako nakakuha na uno once na math ko. Pero eto tayo ngayon. Kinagapang. Yeah, eventually, di siya ganun kadali kasing ma-absorb ng brain ko. Pero I've learned the skills kung paano siya mapapaintindi sa utak ko. So, try and yeah, you can get there.
Right. Okay. So, yun, good, no? Good advice yan. So, guys, ako din, parang feeling ko a lot of the learnings in college is about learning to learn. Or in high school, na learning to learn. Yung actual skills mo, during actual work mo na talaga masya-sharpen and ma-discover. So, again, don't be afraid to try out any of these IT fields, data scientist. As long as ma-enjoy mo, you'll eventually have the skills for that. Kasi parang napapractice mo daily in your work.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, no? And again, to our audience, just don't forget to always comment or, a message if you want to follow up with me or with our guest. Any last words if you have lang, Ms. Dana?
Good luck to everyone. So, maraming pwedeng pagbabago mangyari kapag pinursu mo yung IT and tech. So, kaya mo yan. Merong mga taong tutulong sa'yo.
Right. And of course, guys, if you like our content, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. Bye!